Heldáy. They named me Heldáy, as if to say, "Here, mijo, take this name and use it like armor. It is yours and yours alone." Por dentro, bundled tightly, you'll find our struggles and dreams, some hundreds of years old. And with this name, you'll always be connected to the land where you were born. They knew what was ahead. When I turned 2, I made my way up north in a car with a stranger, the border quietly crossing me in my sleep. In my dreams, there is an apparition in the desert, howling the future into the wind. My mother, pregnant and panting in the heat of the sun, finding protection from its sting under the long shadows of the desert cacti. They seem to appear when she needs them, a gift from the land that returns her love. This is where the yearning begins. She learned to hold nostalgia in both hands and never let go. We acclimated to a new kind of desert, building our farm on Umatilla and Cayuse land. Here we grew our corn and calabacitas, watermelon and tomatillos. Here I learned to make tortillas y tamales, use a molcajete, and raise chickens and cattle. But I also learned to yearn deeper. This is what happens when you leave a piece of yourself in another place, running on the hope that one day you'll return to pick yourself up. And in the moments where it feels impossible, you turn to the tangible, to the things that are home, that are comfort, that are love. And it is like seeing your reflection in a well you know runs deep. I am my mother. I am my father. I am mis abuelas y mis abuelos también. And the echoes of my people go on and on and on. I know this because I feel them singing in the tunnels of my bones. Dos besos llevo en el alma, que no se apartan de mí. El primero de mi madre y el último que te di. In a letter, I told my mother that I resented her, and then reached for her love. I needed her to know that a boy could love a boy. I needed her to understand that a boy could love me and I could love him back. And it was her duty and mine to simply understand. We made a pact to love each other when our heartbeats were humming together and I was not yet born. It took me a long time to untangle the words queer and tragedy, to see myself in a way that isn't attached to apologies and guilt like wind, constantly there. But eventually my mother saw me and said she always knew, that our struggles and dreams continue in different ways. I spent my time falling in and out of relationships, breaking and building, twisting and hurting, balancing the good and the bad, the unexpected. Searching for a heart like mine, I reconnected with a boy I knew for 10 years. Having met as teenagers, but now grown and still deeply infatuated with one another. I told him about the border, the reasons why I couldn't travel, vote, legally work. His solution was fast, and he jokingly proposed to me on the spot, slipping the ring off his finger and giving it to me. Last year, I held his face in both my hands and told him, I think I've always been in love with him. I think we should chase this feeling. And we did. In the midst of it all, a cancer was growing, to my left and to my right, surrounding me but never touching me. It spread so quickly I could barely catch up. In a single year, I lost my mother, my heart. I lost my David, my love. My heart caught fire. The ties I had and have with both are vast, and I know this because they took a part of me with them underground. In this exchange, I was left with their love nestled deeply in my chest. It is an impossible feeling at times that stings and stings again, like sharp knives at both your sides, reminding you that your heart will stop beating someday. I hear my mother's voice telling me, Mijo, while you're still here, holding these borrowed bones, make sure to fall in love with whoever you want, to create whatever you want, and protect your people. Death is a part of it, inevitable and always around. You have to learn to honor it and hold your spirit. The darkness envelops me, but also holds me close. I carry my mother's nostalgia in both my hands now. Like my name, I learned to use my pencils like an armor, enamored with the work my father could do with a single line. My father had joined the United Farm Workers and would take me to their chapter meetings as a child. My first protest was marching alongside Dolores Huerta as a 3-year-old, demanding protection for undocumented farm workers like my father. This call for justice has remained in me since, understanding from a young age that the world seems to turn its back on some of us without mercy. But even in this, people protect each other, and this has become a direct application of my own craft. The intersectionalities of identities that demand to be seen. A reminder of the things we've been saying since the beginning. No justice, no peace. La migra, la policía, la misma porquería. Fuck the police. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. And of course, my favorite. Legality does not equal morality. It's a wake-up call, a shake from the capitalistic and racist American slumber, that the law protects people differently, and some of us not at all. The unpeeling of these realizations is crushing and uplifting, and should you choose to, it becomes quite simple to be a lot kinder to your communities, to dismantle the systems of oppression in your head and in your heart. And even then, perhaps the worst part is making peace with knowing that I will never know what liberation looks like in this lifetime, in this body. But the hope runs on thinking and loving into the future, the continuation of the struggle being passed on less and less.